I was asked to do a video with some more detail on the interface of the camera, so I'm going to go over that. But before I do, I wanted to tell you about something. I contacted Light about the boot up time and how long it is, and they suggested that most people keep the camera in sleep mode, and they only turn it off when they are traveling or if they know they're not gonna be using it for a long time. So I decided to try that out. And I've had it on for the last, I don't know, 3 days or so, but in sleep mode when I'm not using it. And including the latest update to the camera, I did that while it was on battery. And I haven't charged it yet. So it'll be interesting to see what the battery level is at. So I'm going to turn it on, or wake it up, I guess. And I put this thing on a tripod so it'd be easier to see and stuff. So it puts you right into the camera mode, which is great. So let's just start in the upper left-hand corner. So in the upper left-hand corner, you've got the number of shots you have left. And I can prove that by, let's see, I'll take a picture here, because there's no way I've taken 1,267 shots, so you can see it went down. And the battery is at 66%, which isn't bad. Continuing down the left-hand side, you've got the EV, whether you're overexposing or underexposing, you've got that value there. You've got your ISO, which if I pan around here, you'll notice that the ISO changed. Did you see it change there? So it changes based on the exposure and whatnot. So, and then below that is the shutter speed, and below that is the focal length, which is at 28 millimeters. None of that stuff is clickable. Down in the lower left-hand corner, there's two funky little symbols there. The left one is the exposure meter, which I'll get to in a second, and the right one is the flash. So if I go and I click on the this one, these you can click on, or at least one of them you can click on. So let's see. I can do this while I'm holding the phone. I have to switch hands here. Come on. Okay, so then it goes into center weighted and touch weighted. So if you go to touch weighted, which is when it's in right now, is in touch weighted. So I'll go back, and touch weighted means that if I like point it at like a cabinet here, come on, the exposure value changes. If I point it at the fridge, it changes again. Now it may not be doing this correctly because it's locked, and I'll tell you about that stupid thing here in a second. But anyways, there's if I go back there, I'm going to put it to center weighted. Oh, I'm sorry, it is in center weighted. Never mind. Touch weighted is like that. So now it's in touch weighted. So if I go to the cabinet again, yeah, it doesn't look like it's doing it because the thing's locked, and I'll get to that in a second. But anyways, there's touch weighted and center weighted. Center weighted is, it just goes on the center of the focal point, and touch weighted, it will meter it wherever you touch. The flash is you touch that and it's either off, auto, or on. We're all familiar with that. And then on the right hand side, you've got let me zoom out a little bit here. You've got this button here, which shows a thumbnail of the last image you took, and if you tap it, it shows you the image. And then on the left-hand side is if you want to go to the gallery, so you can see there's a little bit of like a gallery symbol there. And the right-hand side, this looks like a micro SD card, in my opinion, but it's actually takes you back to the camera, and it's meant to look like the camera, I guess. So if you tap that, you'll go back to the camera mode. This is you can take a picture either by the top button up here, which holding down halfway for focus and then all the way to shoot, or you can actually tap this and take a picture. So I just took a picture. Now, let's see, if you hold this, it doesn't do anything. Okay. So this is this button here below the photo button is the exposure. So you can hold that down and you can scroll up and down to go plus or minus and it looks like it's in third steps, the exposure. And then if you go, let's say I want to go up 2/3, that will show up on the left-hand side there. See how it went to 0.0 or 0.67 EV. So I'm going to put this back to 0. And then here is another menu button. And when you go here, you can switch from auto to manual. And I'll do manual here in a second. But there's all these things at the bottom. There's a grid. You can choose what grid to do. You can do the one on the left or the one on the right. And then you hit the X button to go back. There's this, which goes into a whole bunch of other, well, not a whole bunch of other stuff, but there's metering mode, exposure info, turn it off or on, device status, turn it off or on, whether you want haptic feedback or not, whether you want audio feedback or not, process images while charging. Oh, that's a new one. And you can turn that on. I have it off. It's off by default. So then you go back to here, because processing images doesn't really save you anything. It only processes a little bit better JPEG for you to view. So back to the menu here. You've got the flash menu, and then you've got self timer over here, and you've got burst mode here. Burst mode, if I go and touch burst mode, come on, you can do it. I can get, it's either off, 3, or 6. And so basically it works the same as a typical camera burst mode. You know, you put it in 3 or 6, and then when you have to hold down the shutter button though to get it to take 6 pictures. If you just tap once like you're taking a picture, it's not going to take anything. So, and then that's it for that. We'll come back to manual here in a second. Now, so far I've shown you a lot of stuff, but the camera's actually locked. So if I go up here and I swipe down, you'll see we get some familiar Android stuff here. Let me do that again. If I tap the home page, there I got the home page. And it's giving me a message about the software update. That's wonderful. So now, see how the lock symbol is there? Now if I go, now I have to swipe up and then I can unlock, which I don't care if you see my unlock code. It's there's no secrets in there. Now you can see there's the other buttons here. So if I go like this, oh, sorry, I have to click this one. Then I can see other things like feedback, gallery, downloads, clock, settings, and the settings are where are your typical Android settings. That's where you would look for an update and stuff like that. There's actually a browser there too. So I'm assuming that you can download or that you can go to Facebook and or something and upload a picture. I haven't tried that yet though. So I'm going to go back. This one is the typical Android thing. It's got the open things. So I'm going to close a bunch of this stuff. Feedback, didn't know I had feedback open. Okay, so then I am going to go to the camera from here. So there are certain things, and I can't remember which ones they are, that you can't do unless you unlock the thing. And it's kind of silly because it's an Android device, and when I wake up my Android phone, I have to unlock it. So while it's great that it comes on right to the image to take a picture, it's still kind of annoying that you have to go and unlock it for other things. Might as well unlock it to begin with. So let's go to manual mode. And so now I'm in manual. So now I get some other options here. I can change the ISO. And again, you hold down on it and then you scroll. So I can change the ISO to whatever I want. And we'll stick with 800. And then here I can change the shutter speed to whatever I want. So, and you can see the images are getting darker as I go up in the shutter speed. And you can even go to like 6, wow, I haven't tried this yet, 15 seconds. Wow, I haven't tried those yet. So that's kind of cool. And that's really the limit of what you can do in manual. So not a whole lot. I'm going to go back to auto just because I like auto for now. So that's kind of it. I've taken some pictures. So now there's the gallery here. You can swipe through the pictures, all the exciting same pictures. Oh, that's my dog. Or you can hit this gallery button up here. Come on, gallery. And it will show you various dates and whatnot. There's a bunch of pictures there. And you can also say, let's say you delete some pictures. Come on. There's, you can see all the pictures. You can see, let me do something here. See if I can get it better. Ooh. Well, okay, it says favorited and it says processed, photo. I don't know what photo means, but deleted. So when you delete a photo, it goes into a deleted folder. So if you want to actually get the photos completely off your camera, you have to go into the deleted folder and then delete them from there. So that's pretty much the interface. The only complaint I have so far is that unlock thing. I have noticed that the preview of the photos taken in low light, not just the preview, but the actual picture looks much better than it did. This is after the software update on the camera, so that looks much better than it did prior to the update. They also said that one of the things is that it focuses faster and takes the pictures faster, which I wholeheartedly agree with. So far I like the update. What I haven't done yet is I haven't tried processing these on the software yet. So I don't know how that's going to work. So because there's new software, so theoretically I might have more areas to I might have more ability to focus in different places. So anyways, that's it. That's the interface. If you have any more questions, let me know.